All right.
Thanksgiving feast is over, but football feast is just beginning. The stakes are now even higher. Week 14 is among us, guys. The playoff picture is starting to take shape, but there's still plenty of football to be played. Get ready for another heart-pounding week all as the teams take battle for their shot for the road to the glory, the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in. NFL Week 14 is here. It's going to be a wild ride for us, guys. Mario, what do you think?
Well, first of all, what's going on, everyone? Shout out to everyone at Football Nation. Shout out to our boy, Adam Kimbrough. We did do a spin, and Dawn is the one who won the prize for the members only on our live stream. So shout out to you, Dawn. If you're in here watching this live stream, I am going to be inviting you exclusively to do these pickups if this is something that you would be interested in. If not, then no worries, no pressure. Adam and I will collaborate and coordinate how we're gonna make this work. We're gonna have to do a one-on-one meeting. But congratulations to you, Don. That's what I wanted to get out of the way. I also wanted to say, wow, what a crazy week. Close games. Week 13 was a ton of really close games in week 13, guys. Adam, we had a winner for that as well. Aura, you won last week's pick'ems, and I have already sent you the shirt for Football Nation as well.
Rock on.
So, Aura, you did get the win there. I'm plugging in week 14s here. Guys, we're going to be doing this once a week until the season is over. We're going to do this once a week until the season is over. You guys, the prizes are going to start getting bigger as we get towards the end. I'm thinking that week 18, Adam, and this is the first time I'm telling you this, I think we're going to do a cash prize giveaway. And as long as you guys keep participating, man, we're going to be able to make that happen. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about on this live stream. Adam, I'm going to go ahead and punt this over to you. Every pun intended.
Oh, wow. Bum. So, starting off the bat, I think this is probably going to be one of the closer, better games to watch, in my opinion, this week. Green Bay Packers travel across the way to Detroit to face the Lions, the red-hot Detroit Lions in Detroit. So, whoa.
Bro, that's going to be crazy, man. Lions at home. Look, this is just facts. I'm going to go ahead and start. And normally we do our coin toss, bro, so we didn't do that today, did we?
No, we did not.
So we're just going to make this happen on the fly. I asked everyone on our side here for Football Nation, and it looks like out of the 20 votes that we've had so far, Detroit Lions are up 84% here, guys. So y'all think the Detroit Lions are going to win? I'm kind of with y'all on that. However, the Packers do have the strength and the talent to get the upset. Both teams have winning records, and it's by a lot, right? Lions 11-1. Packers have dropped 3 games. They're 9-1. I feel like the Packers have had the harder schedule, but I can't really say that since they're both in the same division. Now, check this out. Couple fun facts for you here. In this matchup, guys, the Detroit Lions, they score more points per game than any other team in the league this season. They put up 31.9 points per game on average. Additionally, the Detroit Lions, they have been really good at protecting the football. Only turned the ball over 5 times over the first 13 games or over the first 12 games that they've played so far. So that's one of the best marks in the NFL. And the last 2 games against Green Bay, the Lions have been, they knocked them out of the playoffs last year. And they were the reason that they didn't get to the playoffs the year before. We were just talking about that. Now, on the other side, this isn't going to be just like blowing this out of the way because the Green Bay Packers here, man. Guys, the Green Bay Packers, they're on a 4-game win streak right now, with 2 of those wins coming on last-second field goals. So they've been able to win some pretty good games there. They do have a pretty solid defense. Green Bay's defense has been rock solid, guys. They've given up about 15 points per game over their last 3 matchups. And then, of course, Packers, they have been able to turn over the football quite a bit. They are not number 1 in the NFL in takeaways, but they do have 19 takeaways this season. And a big part of that is thanks to Xavier McKinney, who has 7 interceptions. So what I'm thinking is that the Detroit Lions are going to win. That's just my thoughts. How are you planning this? Like, what are you unpacking here?
Well, the big thing with Detroit is, even with the injuries they've had, Aiden Hutchinson going out against the Cowboys. Terrible, terrible injury for him. I really hate that injury for him because he was a key player on the defensive side. But it's like they didn't miss anything when he went down. I forgot the guy's name that took his spot. So defensively, the Packers have, or not the Packers, the Lions have remained fairly strong. They're still fielding quite a few points a game. They're averaging, what I'm showing here is 23 points a game for the Lions. Yep. Well, that thing clicked.
No, they're putting up more points than that. The Detroit Lions are putting up.
Yeah, this thing clicked off on me.
Yeah, the Lions are putting up almost 32 points per game.
32 points.
In the NFL. Yeah, just shy.
This thing messed up on me here. Scoring off. There we go. Points per game. Yeah, 31.9, 32 points. Just round up 32. So, and look at where I just went totally blank. The Packers, the Green Bay Packers are sitting down middle of the pack, basically. They're sitting down at 26 points. So that's offensive defense. But Detroit has they just have the power rankings. They're by far one of the better teams in the NFL. They're playing at home. You got a outdoor team facing a dome team. This time of year, it makes it really crazy. So I feel like the dome team has the odds, and Detroit's playing at home. Just everything I think leads to them. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think the Detroit Lions definitely going to end up winning this. Not definitely. I don't want to say definitely. The spread for this game is just 4 points, man. It's just a 4-point spread. The over-under is projected to be a shootout, 51.5 points per game. Or 51.5 points is what they're expecting. I've got someone having technical difficulties in my chat area, Tarek Shields. Dude, I don't know what you're asking. I can't see the question that you're asking. I know you want me to respond, but I can't help you right now. I can see what you're saying right now, but whatever question you're putting up either has words that are not acceptable on this channel and have been filtered out. I can't help you. Maybe try restructuring your question. Anyways, I'm going to step away from the chat. Also, please no spamming. I don't want to have to silence you over there on that side either. So if it can wait, then, we've got some time. Game time isn't until tomorrow. If it's a fantasy football question, I'm not here to give you fantasy football advice. I'm here to talk about pick'ems right now. So, all right, guys, those are my picks. I think Adam and I are on the same page. I think the Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers should be a close match. It'll be one of the better matches. Luckily for us, we will have our undivided attention for that match because it is Thursday night football. So all eyes in Detroit. It's going to be a good game for sure. Probably one of the games of the week. So, all right, let's move on.
I agree.
Let's move on to the next one here. Let's take a look then at the Falcons versus the Vikings. Now, okay, Falcons versus Vikings, that's an interesting matchup. Why is it an interesting matchup? Well, because Kirk Cousins is finally going back to Minnesota. So Kirk Cousins, for those of you who are living under a rock, Kirk Cousins has been in Atlanta, and, it hasn't been the fairy tale that Falcons fans wanted.
No, it's been rough.
It has, dude. It's been rough, man. But that being said, the Atlanta Falcons are in first place, technically speaking, right now in the NFC South. So this does have big playoff implications for the Atlanta Falcons. For the Minnesota Vikings, they're good. They can probably lose the next 5 games and still make the playoffs. I think they've got an over 99% chance of making the playoffs, but the Atlanta Falcons really need this game. What are you thinking, Adam?
I just want to say, welcome back, Lloyd. He was in the hospital. He said he's back at home. Road to recovery, still a little woozy. Hey, thank you, Lloyd, for stopping in. We're still praying for you, my friend. So, absolutely. Minnesota's number 2. Atlanta's number 1 in their division. NFC South is a weak division. Atlanta's 6-6. Minnesota's 10-2 and second in NFC North. It's a pretty strong division for the NFC North. So I feel like Minnesota is the better team.
Yep.
They're playing they're playing in Minnesota, so they got the home field advantage there. Minnesota's odds according to Yahoo, at the moment is 5.5 for Minnesota. Who are they behind? They're behind the Detroit Lions by one
Yep.
game.
Yes,
Just
they
one
are.
game. So Minnesota's not too shabby of a team either. I mean, you look at the team comparison breakdown. Cousins, 3,000 yards, 250 yards a game, 254 yards a game versus Sam Darnold, 2,952 yards, 246 yards a game. But Darnold has 23 TDs to Cousins' 17. Cousins has 13 interceptions to Darnold's 10. The QB rating for Darnold, though, surpasses Cousins. He's at a 102 to Cousins' 90. So that's a lot of point difference to an extent there. Touchdowns.
Isn't it really weird though, dude? Isn't that pretty wild though? Like the fact that how similar these quarterbacks are. How similar these quarterbacks are, even though they're in different organizations. It almost goes to it almost feels like Kirk Cousins left an imprint in whoever was to fill in that role in Minnesota.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
just so happened to be Sam Darnold. Like, what are the chances of that, dude? What are the chances of that? Okay, so
Yeah.
let me drop some thoughts here. So yes, Kirk Cousins has been inconsistent. We get it. The Falcons, that shows in their record, they're 6-6. But there are good sides of the Atlanta Falcons offense, like Bijan Robinson, who's been averaging 4.6 yards per carry. And he's got over 1,000 rushing yards right now this season. He's coming off of 2 big games in the past 3 weeks where he rushed for over 100 yards in those contests. Now, the Falcons are going to be fighting hard today for this one. I think the upfront idea, the number one thing that everyone wants to say they want to impulse click, yeah, it's going to be the Vikings because they're 10-2. Y'all might call me crazy, but I just don't know. I just don't know that Minnesota has it, dude. Am I crazy?
No, you're
Am I
not.
crazy?
You're not, because when you pull them up, I'm on Yahoo Sports for those of you guys that want to pull it up. If you go on Yahoo Sports, you go to this schedule, this week, this game, and you click down below on this matchup, and you click on the stats in the middle matchup where you can see the team side by side, and you break down their stats. Like we're saying, their stats as far as Cousins to Darnold are pretty close. Then you break down Robertson to Jones Sr., 4.5 yards rush to 4.6 yards rush. 820 yards for Jones Sr. to Robinson's 885. Running backs are pretty similar. Wide receiving, London to Jefferson. London 70 receptions, Jefferson 68. Highest paid receiver, 68 receptions to London's 70. I mean, these teams are pretty close offensively, but what's going to come to matter on this matchup, I don't think it's a game of offense. I think it's a game of defense.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
and that's why I give the Vikings the advantage, bro, because the defense for the Minnesota Vikings, they rank 4th in the NFL when it comes to sacks. They've got 39 sacks in the past couple weeks here. So it's been kind of crazy how they've played so far. That being said, though, they will be missing some key defensive players from the Minnesota Vikings. No Stephon Gilmore. He's questionable. Well, he's questionable after the injury that he got in the last game. And, of course, linebacker Ivan Pace has been placed on IR with a hamstring injury, so losing Ivan Pace isn't good. But at the other side, Darnell Mooney also has a questionable tag coming into this one. I still think the Minnesota Vikings, I don't want to sit on this game for too long. I think the overall arcing consensus, especially on this channel, 81% of everyone is saying that the Minnesota Vikings are going to win this game. I'm with you, though, bro. It's definitely the defensive side. The Vikings defense is just going to outmuscle the Atlanta Falcons offense. And I don't think the Falcons have the defensive wherewithal to put up with Sam Darnold's almost 3,000 yards this season. Aaron Jones coming downhill and crushing those guys. And Justin Jefferson, already has 100 receptions on the season, over 1,000 yards, and he's just going to do the same thing to the Atlanta Falcons. Those are my final thoughts.
You know what? I forgot my things, but yeah, I agree. So Vikings will take this one for sure.
All right.
What
What do you think? Next game?
Next game. Saints versus the Giants. So let me get my stat window here. This game, the more I think about it, so get to my right screen. We're doing this real time, guys. So we're live looking into this, putting everything. This is not a polished video where we could cut some of this stuff out. So we're having to bounce between windows. So you've got the Vikings sitting at 4-8. No, not the Vikings. The Saints sitting at 4-8, third in NFC South, versus NFC East. The Giants sitting in fourth at 2-10. Terrible teams right now. Both of these teams are just bad, honestly. But
I mean, the Saints aren't that bad. The Saints are bad right now, but they have pieces, bro.
Like, they do have pieces.
Let's give the Saints a little bit of respect. They've earned it.
They've had some rough going, especially quarterback-wise. The backup is terrible for the Saints. I just went blank on the guy's name. Spencer Rattler, I think.
Yeah.
So when Carr
went, just a fill-in. Yeah, it was just a fill-in for when the car broke down.
Yeah,
the bigger thing that I'm worried about is actually what Seal just said. He said that he thinks that the Giants are going to lose, that the Giants are going to win because the Saints just lost Taysom Hill for the season. That's going to be.
Yeah, he did. Sure did.
But Taysom Hill was always that gadget guy. If you lose Taysom Hill, he shouldn't really be affecting your team that much.
I don't. But there's not one eye in team, but it can't. You can see how it affected the Miami Dolphins when Tua went down. They sputtered to nothing. But you got to really remember too, guys, who takes the ball for offense? That's your quarterback. So in a sense, for offensively, that is your key person. Quarterback goes out, it can really affect the offense. Now, if you're running back,
there you go. You're headed the right way. You're headed the right way. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, that little dynamic, that's why an average quarterback for your backup, but a bad quarterback can throw off the whole offense. That's just my thought.
But we gotta be honest, dude. Like, just the better team up front, without even question, it Saints. Is the New Orleans Saints right now.
By far. 4.5. They're playing in MetLife, the worst stadium in the NFL right now, in my opinion, just out there.
Well, dude, they've been okay, right? So the Saints are 4-8. Yeah, they're probably gonna miss the playoffs this year. I don't see a path to there, especially when you've got the Buccaneers who are 6-6 and the Falcons who are 6-6 in the same division. And those are really the two players. It's going to take both of them losing this week. I don't think the Buccaneers are going to lose to the Raiders. The Falcons might lose. That could open up some wiggle room here for the New Orleans Saints. But it's a tough road, and it's not going to be entirely in their hands anymore at this point. Anyways, what I'm trying to say, New Orleans Saints, they're 4-8 coming into this one. New York Giants, they're 2-10, as you said. Over the last 4 games, though, guys, Derek Carr has thrown 6 touchdown passes with 0 interceptions and gone over 1,000 yards over the last 4 games. Now, also, last week, Alvin Kamara, nearly 110, over 110 rushing yards last week, and that's his third. That being said, it was just his third 100-yard game of the season, but it hasn't been great for Alvin Kamara, but it is still Alvin Kamara, and he's going up against the Giants defense that gives up an average of 145 yards per game. That's a lot of yards to give up to any running back, much less Alvin Kamara, who's probably going to run tomorrow for 350 or run on Sunday for 350 yards and catch 4 passing touchdowns. And I think it's going to be – I don't think it's just going to be a close game. I think the Saints are – sorry, Giants fans, not sorry, Giants fans. Look, y'all are winless at home, and you're at home right now. You're 0-6 at home. I know y'all are desperate to give them something to cheer about, to give your fans something to cheer about, but I don't think that's going to happen. You have a 2-10 record. It's probably going to be 2-11 after this. I mean, I don't see the way. The only saving grace would be if the New York Giants had an actual passing quarterback that wasn't just absolute flaming dumpster fire. But they don't even have Danny DeVito. So who's in there right now? What is it? Who's their fill-in quarterback right now? Is that Drew Lock? I don't know.
I don't remember. Yeah, well, Lock, he started, didn't he?
So,
Locke started, But DeVito's back up now because DeVito started, then he didn't do good, so then
He's
they
injured.
put Locke.
He's injured right now.
Oh, he did get that. Is right.
Don't jinx it, Mario, says Marty. What's going on, Marty?
I forgot.
Okay, last thing, and then I'll get off my soapbox here. The Saints are good, and they're better than the Giants, but there is one area that they can be exploited in, and that is against the pass.
That's right.
The
Kamara.
Saints are that the Saints against the pass, the Saints defense against the pass, they're a bottom 5 team in the NFL against the pass. And Malik Neighbors, he is a really, really good talent. And if they can target him and exploit the Saints pass defense, the New York Giants can make it difficult for the Saints. I think the Saints will win this one big time. So, yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Kamara, he's going to exploit the Giants defense. He's going to take it to the house. Carr's going to throw for 400 yards, and that'll be the ball game. Giants are in a rebuild process now, so go ahead and get started. Start scoping out the draft picks and maybe even personnel changes. Maybe even clean slate. Just start over. What's it going to hurt at this point? Hate to say it that way, but it is what it is. So there's always next year.
There's always next year, bro. There's always next year. All right, so who will win this game, guys? The next game on the slate here is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Tennessee Titans. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are coming into this game at 2-10. The Tennessee Titans are coming in 3-9. Now, this is probably going to be one of the worst games of the week, but because both of these teams are so bad, it's probably going to be one of the best games of the week, realistically speaking. That's kind of what happened with that Browns and Broncos game. That was how about Jameis Winston?
That was
what
a
good
insane game.
Monday Night Football.
If you missed that game, guys, I didn't get to watch a lot of it. I had to pick it up late, but yeah, highly recommend going back and watching the highlights on that game. That was an amazing game.
Yeah, I thought so too. But there are some things that could be brought up. Now, Jacksonville, I don't know what to expect with Mac Jones taking over. For those of you who missed it, Trevor Lawrence got knocked the front door out. He got his head rocked, man.
Bad.
He got knocked out. He's out for concussion protocol. He will not be playing in this game against the Tennessee Titans. So
4 weeks.
Mac Jones is going to be starting for Jack. Yeah. How many weeks?
4 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyways, what up, Mario? Loving the Browns. And Jay, what's going on? Mark Chitwood, thanks for checking in, bro.
Up?
Finally dropped Evan Ingram, he says. Frog Crap checking in. Adam, talk to me, bro. What do you think? Who's winning this game?
I'm not a fan of Mac Jones either. I feel like Jaguars are reeling. I feel like he's just a average quarterback, even possibly a below average in my opinion. His QB rating is sitting at a 70, which is not good. Jaguars passing, they're 25th in the league, 25th in the league rushing. Points per game, total yards per game, 28th. But then you look across the pond, I say across the pond, on the other side, you got Tennessee, who's not much better. So I still feel like Tennessee's at home. They're favored 3.5. Tennessee's got a good defense. They got a pretty good defense. So I think Tennessee will beat Jacksonville. So I'm going to take Jags, but it's a toss-up. So I've got some chat saying Jags.
Here's something that a lot of you guys probably didn't know. Just really quick, just to say, I'm going to go just flat out. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans. It shouldn't be that much of a discussion, but both teams have been so bad that it is up in the air. I think even Mac Jones, let me rewind, because that's the point that I'm actually trying to make, is that even if they had Trevor Lawrence, I don't think that they would have an easy chance against the Tennessee Titans. Why? Why do I think that? Well, most of you guys don't know this, but the Tennessee Titans actually rank number 1 in the NFL against the pass. I am not making that up, guys. The Tennessee Titans rank number 1 in the NFL against the pass. they give up just 171 yards to opposing wide receivers. Now, the Tennessee Titans, they know that the Jaguars are going to probably end up running the football, and Travis Etienne has been subpar, Tank Bigsby inconsistent and not healthy, and then there's just issues there. They're running pretty thin as it is. So losing Trevor Lawrence is bad. They were already in bad shape to begin with, and the Tennessee Titans, they've actually been getting surprisingly a little bit better as the season's gone on. Like in the
Pollard,
last 4 games.
yeah, I agree with Lloyd. Pollard's doing pretty well.
Pollard has been doing pretty well. I mean, he's getting better, right?
Yeah.
They're second. By the way, not only are they the best team against the pass, giving up just 171 yards to opposing wide receivers, passing yards given up to opposing teams, they're second in the NFL in total yards allowed per game. So that includes the running yards as well. So the Tennessee Titans defense, what's weird is that they give up points, a lot of them via field goal. They do not give up a lot of yards. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to struggle to put up points this week. My money, I'm taking the Tennessee Titans. I think the first 4 picks, guys, have been pretty straightforward. Well, that first pick could go either way. I think that first pick might ruin a lot of pick'ems for a lot of people, man.
Probably.
That first Green Bay Packers versus Detroit Lions.
That's a tough one. Start out the gate, man. Best game of the week, in my opinion.
I might change my mind, bro.
What if it just goes off and it's the worst game of the week? What if it's a blowout? You never know, but stat-wise setting up, that should be the best game of the week.
Yeah. Okay. I'm ready to move on. You want the next one?
Got it. Buccaneers at the Raiders. Antonio Pierce is fighting for his job, in my opinion. If not, these players should be. So the Raiders are reeling. The Buccaneers are playing for a playoff spot. They got to keep pounding away. I think the Buccaneers are a solid team. Going into this game, 6-6 the Buccaneers are. The Raiders are sitting at 2-10. So 6-6, 2-10, huge discrepancy. So, but the Raiders, they did beat the Baltimore
Ravens. They got close, dude. They got close last week.
They did.
They got close last week. They've been getting
really close. So this team, I mean, they're making some headway. Any given week, any given Sunday.
Black Friday, bro. That Black Friday game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
They should have won that game.
They poo-pooed the bed, man.
They did.
They had the chance right there. And just terrible coaching, bad clock management, nobody. Like, it was Aiden O'Connell looking to the sideline. The snap comes and hits him on a big situation. Like, final play of the game, it was just a break of concentration in that one. We covered that game on this channel.
So, yeah. Oh, man. I'm watching the previews on Yahoo, and it just literally showed that the ball hitting him in the chest, and he's like,
"Dude, how was he not paying attention on that play?" I think he was even looking at the coach because why? Inside of field goal range, are you even taking that snap? You were down by 2. You didn't even have to make a play. You did not even have to snap the ball. All you had to do was kick the field goal to win that game. What were you trying to do? What were you trying to prove? I don't understand why the Raiders go out there and just do Raider things. That was a legitimate chance to topple again and upset the defending NFL champions.
Super Bowl contender.
It would have been legendary, dude.
It would have.
Absolutely legendary if they would have done it. Anyways, in this game, I don't think Baker Mayfield's up for that BS, man. I think Baker Mayfield's going to go out there. He's going to take care of business. I think Mike Evans is going to go out there and take care of business. I don't think Las Vegas really stands a chance in this one. Their brightest spots are obviously Brock Bowers, their tight end, their rookie tight end at that. He's the number 1 tight end in fantasy football right now. He leads the pack in that for, I guess, basically every format. And then, of course, defensively, they do have Max Crosby. But, hey, the Raiders have been struggling. The Raiders are not looking good. They're also 2-10. So just like the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't think that they're really going to be able to keep up with the firepower. I mean, guys, how good has Bucky Irving been this season? Like, Bucky has been the real deal, guys. Tampa Bay is 6th in the NFL in scoring points. They put up 27.9 points per game. Baker Mayfield has thrown 25 passing touchdowns this season. Mike Evans is healthy right now, 184 yards and a touchdown in the last 2 games. Bucky Irving, over 185 all-purpose yards from scrimmage last week, putting him over 1,000 all-purpose yards for the season. He's less than 300 yards away. He will break 1,000 rushing yards this season as well. Tampa Bay, going to take it. Easy money.
Easy money, guys. You heard it right there from Mario. I agree. Tampa Bay, all the way. Put the Raiders, send them back to, I was going to say Oakland, but I'm not going to say it because it's Las Vegas now. Bam. Next one.
I just realized, and I'm going to have to fix it again, but I just realized that I said Buccaneers in my poll up here. I said Buccaneers or Chiefs, or Raiders or Chiefs instead of that. Anyways, I'm going to end that one, guys. Don't answer this poll. I'm going to just go ahead and end it and start the next one here.
Bucks is a pick. Awesome.
Y'all knew what I meant. Buccaneers were the pick on that. Let's go ahead and move forward. I guess I poo-pooed the bed.
We got a replay, baby. Replay.
Rematch.
2 weeks ago. OMG, what a great game. My goodness. We were talking about it before the stream. This is going to be another good game, guys. We did say Detroit and the Packers is going to be a good game. But just like the snow game 2 weeks ago in Cleveland, where the Cleveland Browns, Jameis Winston rocked them. I think they were the underdogs, and you see what happened. The snow game where within 15 minutes it was a full-on blizzard happening in Cleveland. And, wow, what a game, what a game. Mario, you covered that game.
I sure did.
Absolutely. And believe it or not,
all right, guys.
Deshaun, he didn't throw a touchdown. Just Jameis Winston didn't throw a touchdown pick.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He had a rushing touchdown in that game. It wasn't a great game, but the rest of the team stepped up. They were playing in the snow. They were playing at home. They were galvanized, I guess, by the fact that this was an AFC North showdown. And Steelers lost because Tomlin and that damn penalty, says Seal. I think the Steelers were very close to winning that game. But you know what? The Steelers are already coming into this game, you know, as Mike Tomlin's record. And Mike Tomlin's record. What, that pass interference one?
Yeah, was that the one you're talking about?
That was Seal who was saying something about that.
Oh, okay.
Guys on. Yeah. And so he's saying that's what actually gave him away. By the way, those of you who are checking into the chat, man, we've only got 48 responses right now for the pick'ems. Last week we had over 70. We're going to be doing this for a while. Last week we had over 70, so I'm going to plug this in a couple more times so you guys get a chance to do those pick'ems. Let's get those responses in. I am going to give you guys a freebie, so if you want to wait until Thursday, probably not a bad idea to wait until Thursday. The rules are, of course, I open the picks availability on Monday, and I close the submission reports on Sunday. So if you're feeling like you've got a little extra chutzpah, you can make your pick on the Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions game. If you want to wait, definitely wait. But would love to see those picks getting in, see who's feeling bold right now. Anyways, on Sunday before kickoff, I will close it, and you guys will no longer be able to make your selections. Okay, let's get back to it. Sorry about that, Adam. I just had to make sure I addressed everyone on my side here. Okay, really quick. So, Browns versus Steelers, y'all. The Cleveland Browns coming in here 3-9. It's that rematch. We already know that the Steelers are 9-3. That means Mike Tomlin will still hang on to his winning record. The Steelers need this more than the Browns do, guys. Even though they already have that, even though Mike Tomlin already has his legacy made with 18 consecutive seasons with a winning record, and the fact that the Steelers have a 99% chance of making playoffs, if they don't win this game, they won't necessarily. If they don't win this game,
do they? Yeah, I mean, because you look at Cincinnati.
Yeah. No. If the Bengals win out and the Steelers lose out, which I don't think is going to end up happening. I don't think the Steelers are going to lose out here, but there's always that possibility, right? There's always that possibility. And since they haven't clinched just yet, the Steelers want this, not only for that, but for home field advantage as well, right? The more wins you have, the better. They want to be number one in their division. They got to get this win over the Browns. If not, the Bengals and the Ravens are going to come knocking on that door, and there's a chance that they could lose their playoff berth. If nothing else, they definitely will lose that home field advantage. Anyways, the Browns have been, as you said, surprisingly good in the past few weeks. Jerry Jeudy, over 120 receiving yard game. Not bad for the Browns. That was more than that. Yeah, he had over 250.
It was 235 against the Broncos. He set a record.
So he's averaging 120 yards per game with Jameis Winston, in case you did not know. With Jameis Winston, because Deshaun Watson was awful, guys. With Jameis Winston, he is averaging 120 receiving yards per game, and he's coming off of that 235-yard game against the Broncos on Monday. Since taking over as quarterback for the Browns, there have been some pretty unpredictable games, but against Denver last week, 315 passing yards. More than that, how many passing yards?
497 for Jameis Winston.
And you know what? And Jameis Winston, should not have thrown that football. I don't know why they threw the football on the very final play of that game that got intercepted and finished that game. I don't know if it's because he wanted to get to 500. It was a play at the 2-yard line. That 2-yard play would have only gotten him to 499, just shy of 200. They had Nick Chubb in on that play. The Browns could have run the football and actually gotten the win. Bad coaching choice decision right there as well. Yeah. So I think the coaching, man, I think the Steelers just got very unlucky in that last one. This time the Steelers are at home. I'm going Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is my choice.
Pittsburgh's your choice on this one?
Yeah, I don't smell an upset here. Steelers at home, they're going to win this one.
I got you that. Something I just got to thinking about. So weather's a big factor in games. And I'm just pulling up the weather just to make sure what the weather's supposed to be. And I know they've been getting some of that weather. I'm pulling it up right now because as of right now, according to this, it's going to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 49 degrees. No rain. Be great football weather. So weather will not be a factor. I think the weather played a factor in that game for Cleveland. I think it was an advantage for Cleveland to an extent. But Cleveland did get their lead before the game. Tomlin, he's a great coach, historic coach. I think he's one of the longest tenure coaches for the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong. He's the current longest tenure coach in the NFL. I know that for a fact. So I think Tomlin's going to have the Steelers ready. They're going to go into this game. He's after revenge. He's after blood. Tomlin is. And he's going to have those guys ready to rock, roll, kick butt, take names. And Russell Wilson, he had a phenomenal game against the Bengals last week. So I think Russell's going to come back. Great weather. They will take it. So my odds are with you. I part of me wanted to say Cleveland because there is hope for Jameis and Winston. He's only a 1-year contract with Cleveland, so I don't think he's going to stay in Cleveland. I think somebody's going to pick him up. I'm not sure who, but there's some teams that need quarterbacks.
Jameis Winston is not a starting quarterback. I don't know what you say. He might have great games. He might have been a starter for the New Orleans Saints for a couple of dark years for New Orleans Saints fans, which ultimately led to them picking up.
Maybe so. He's looked good. He's changed these last few games. I thought been some of the better games he's played. But throw in, the way I was talking about it to a friend earlier. I was like, when you throw the ball 58 times in a game, that's a lot of passes. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
that's not a good sign. That means your
That's not-
offense can't stay. That means you're playing from behind.
You
That
are
means
playing
you're
from
always
behind.
playing from behind, and you've got garbage time coming in. So
That's true. So he's throwing the ball. So it's putting what I was getting at with him. I was like, well, the percentage of him throwing an interception is greater. The more chances, I get out on the car and drive down the road, the more chances I'm going to be in a wreck. The more chances you throw the ball, the more chances it's going to get picked off. That's what I felt like. So yeah. So I say there's hope in Jameson. He's been in the league several years now. He's bounced around several teams. There's still, he's a good backup. He's definitely a good backup. Somebody's going to pick him up for sure after this season. But I don't think they got this game. I feel like the Steelers are on a revenge. They'll take them.
I'm with you, man. All right, let's move on to the next one. I think the Steelers will get revenge, by the way. I got Panthers Eagles next up here.
We can skip this one. It's going to we don't have to do this one.
That's what I was thinking too, man. I'm like, dude, I didn't even take notes.
Next.
Yeah, this should be a lock. I got 93% of you guys saying the Eagles are going to win this game. Man,
sorry, Carolina.
Yeah.
Sorry. We love you. We love you.
Here's just the flat-out stats really quick, guys. Philadelphia Eagles averaging 377 yards per game, 188 on the ground, 203 through the air. The Carolina Panthers on the other side, compared to the Philadelphia Eagles, 377 yards. The Carolina Panthers only put up 292 yards. So,
wow.
There's a huge drop-off there. And, of course, Saquon Barkley. Just player for player, guys. Every player on both sides of the football is better for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, greater than Young. Saquon Barkley, greater than Chuba Hubbard. A.J. Brown, greater than Xavier Leggett. Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, all the way down. We can go down this list. Pound for pound, player for player on both sides of the football. Like, I'm taking Nakobe Dean. I'm taking Reed Blankenship. I'm taking C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I'm taking Quinion Mitchell. I'm taking Cooper DeJean. I'm taking Darius Slay and Josh Sweat. I'm taking all those guys over basically everybody on the Carolina Panthers side of the football. Shouldn't be any conversation here. Philadelphia Eagles, if you're feeling froggy and you got a wild hair up your tail there, man, then you know what? Go ahead and pick the Carolina Panthers. This would be a huge upset for the Philadelphia Eagles if they lose this game. I'm going Philly.
Probably be a good payout for you if you did pick that and they actually paid out. So, but I wouldn't take it. The odds on the game, I had it up a second ago. Dang it. Where'd they go? You ready? 12.5 points favored Philly. Come on, fly, Eagles, fly all the way.
I think the Eagles are going to have fun in this game too, man. I think it's going to be once they get away. That is assuming, right, that they don't decide that they want to start resting players mid-season here. Oh no, all of a sudden Saquon Barkley's got a hurt hamstring. Oh, and he can't play in this game. And same thing for A.J. Brown. Oh, maybe he's got some soreness in his muscles, and all of a sudden he might miss some time or whatever. I don't know. This isn't the NBA. They don't tend to rest players in games like that unless it's the final week. Of course, the Eagles could still use a couple more wins. But if this game gets out of hand pretty quickly, we'll probably see the second-string team in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Eagles destroy them. Let's go. Rock and roll.
Yeah, let's roll.
Oh, this is a terrible one, too.
You want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. Man. Jets, I'm sorry. It's been a rough year. I don't think it gets any brighter here, guys. I'm sorry. Just saying. I don't know what's really happening. There was a lot of hope for the Jets coming into the season, Rodgers being back. But Tua's back, looking good. So the odds on the game are Miami by 6.5. Over/under is 45 points on the game. Miami is sitting at 5-7 to the Jets 3-9 currently. So Miami's 2, Jets are 3. So they're right there, close together. I feel like Miami is a better team statistically right now with Tua in. Now, bearing Tua's health and everything's, at this moment, he's able to play. Because if he's not able to play, I'm going to say Jets are going to win. But, Miami, I just really think Miami's the better team right now over the Jets. The Jets have a lot of problems, and I think in my honest opinion, I have some people, and I think your wife would even think the same thing. Is Rodgers is not a good quarterback right now. I don't think he's a good team quarterback. There's been a lot of controversy on him in the locker room. I
wouldn't even say there's controversy, bro. I think it's pretty much unanimous that everyone knows that Aaron Rodgers is kind of just
selfish.
A bummer to be around. It
Yeah.
sounds, I don't know how Devontae Adams, and that's, you know what? I mentioned that thing about the Philadelphia Eagles saying that all of a sudden the players are going to start getting hurt. Well, guess who actually is out with a hamstring injury? That is Sauce Gardner on the defensive side for the New York Jets. And I'm wondering if that's something that he picked up from his good friend Devontae Adams. Now, I'm wondering if maybe Devontae's like, bro, you're too young to be putting up with this. You're too good. Go ahead and, tweak your hamstring like I did in Las Vegas. That's me speculating, guys. I don't know if that happened. But what is facts, what I can see is that C.J. Gardner-Johnson will be out, or Sauce Gardner will be out this week. I know that for sure. Aaron Rodgers, 41 years old coming into this, guys. I don't think he's up for the challenge anymore. I'm not saying that 41 is too old to play football, because obviously Tom Brady was out there doing it. Peyton Manning did his thing in his 40s. I mean, there's still – I just don't know what they're smoking up in New York, man. I don't know if it's all the ayahuasca and the darkness retreats.
Oh, my goodness.
He can't hit the broad side of a barn right now. And he has just been – it's been rough for him. Now, it hasn't been all bad. And I guess I got to give him some credit for being able to feed Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson does rank 7th in the NFL. He does rank 7th in the NFL with 74 receptions. He's on pace for his 3rd consecutive 1,000-yard season. That's something that no New York Jet has done since I think it was 1968 is what I saw.
Oh, so wow.
No New York Jet has had 3 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons since 1968. And Garrett Wilson is on track to do that this year if he can stay healthy.
That is
Aaron Rodgers has not been good, man. The Dolphins have been a lot better. And luckily for them, they are playing in Miami and not in New York. Did you know that Tua Tagovailoa is 0-8 when playing in temperatures of 45 degrees or less?
Yeah.
Luckily, they are in Miami. I think this game should go the way of the Miami Dolphins. I'm pretty sure this is the first time that the Dolphins have played the New York. This is for sure the first time the Dolphins have played the New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback. So this will be an interesting game either way. But I'm taking Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, and that supporting cast in this game. So I'm going to go. And I actually say this with a heavy heart, because I do think there is always the possibility that the New York Jets can finally show up. I just don't think it'll happen in this game. I'm split, but I'm going with the Dolphins on this one.
Rodgers has played all season. He hasn't set. He's sitting at 2,627 yards, 218 yards a game, 19 TDs, 8 interceptions, QB rating of 87. Across the way, Tua, who missed 4 or 5 games this season due to concussion against Buffalo, is sitting at 2,125 yards with 265 yards a game, 15 TDs, 4 interceptions, and 108 passer rating. So Tua by far has better stats than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, who's played all the games this season. So that alone right there shows that Tua, on paper, right now, stat-wise, is a better quarterback. They're playing at home, great weather on their side. And according, the weather is not supposed to be that bad in New York this weekend, but it'd be cooler.
Let me ask you something. I want to ask you something just completely
yeah.
off the cuff here. Which team do you think has the better chalk? Now, for those of you who don't play fantasy sports, and I'm asking this for you, Adam, I'm just asking you, but and I'm just clearing it up for everyone else. But out of these two teams, who has the better chalk as far as big names go, right? So, the chalk names in this matchup would be
H-A-N.
Right, H-A-N, Tyreek Hill, Tua, and Waddle. Maybe you can add in Jonnu Smith. But on the other side, there's still some big names out there for the New York Jets too. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, it's Devontae Adams, it's Garrett Wilson, it's Breece Hall. Like, which of these teams have the better chalk when it comes down to it?
Just my opinion at the moment, currently, yeah, they've got some great talent for the Jets, but I mean, I feel like, dang.
Cheetah might get loose in Miami, man.
Yeah, the Cheetah.
With Tua back, the Cheetah might get loose, bro. I think that would be interesting.
That would.
For finally a breakout game for Tyreek Hill, man. I need a 200-yard or a 2 passing and 2 receiving touchdown game out of Tyreek Hill. Would be great.
He could do it this game.
I think so too. Anyways, but honestly, to answer my own question, I actually, looking at it on paper, just for namesake alone, I like the Jets roster better from namesake alone. But performance-wise, the Miami Dolphins have just been the better team. Like, they've just been the better team, even though they've had their fair share of struggles. That's where they are in the division. I think it's time to move on from this one. No worries, Courtney. By the way, I did reach out to you really quick. Sorry, Adam, once again. Courtney, I did reach out to you via email. Check your email real quick. I want to make sure that I can get you your prize as well. So I did send you the photo with those other prizes, so you can send your pick. If you're going to go with one of those hoodies, send me your size, and then send me the shipping address that you want it to go to. Okay, let's get back on track. Let's move on to the next game. I think this chat room, just so you know, 88% are going with the Miami Dolphins. I'm in agreement with that 88%. Now, this is the game that I think some people will be divided on. Seattle Seahawks, Arizona Cardinals. Would you like to kick us off?
I knew you was going to do that to me. Because everybody on the channel. So we talked about this before the stream. This is going to be a close game, and Seattle's sitting in first. Arizona's sitting in second, right behind Seattle. I mean, this is a conference showdown between these two teams. Arizona's good. They're playing at home. I feel like Kyler Murray's sometimes inconsistency is going to hurt him in this game. I think Seattle has a better team on paper. Of course, they got the better win record. They're sitting in first in the division. But it's a hit or miss. I feel like it's a toss-up because Arizona's 2.5 points favored on this game. Over-under is at 4. That's what, according to Yahoo, right now at this moment, and I've seen it fluctuate a little bit, maybe a point and a half. You can see.
Look, so I'm going to interject just to, and I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, go right ahead, man.
But this game to me was so exciting, and I was torn on what games I wanted to cover because there are other good games like the Bills and the Rams game coming up, the Bears and the 49ers game coming up. This is like for the bonus game that I wanted to cover. But I was, we picked, luckily for us, it's pretty easy, right? The Green Bay Packers and the Lions for Thursday Night Football. We got that covered. We've got that Chargers-Chiefs game. That's a solid game. We got that covered. And I always cover Dallas Cowboys games, so Monday Night Football's covered. I needed one more game. The game that stood out to me the most on this entire calendar was this game. This game is the one that stood out the most to me because the playoff implications for this game are dire for both teams. I don't use that word lightly, man. Like, here's the numbers, right? Just the numbers flat out. A win in this game for the Seattle Seahawks gives them a 62% chance of making the playoffs.
Wait a second. I got to interrupt you. Tell chat NFC West the structure of the division.
Oh gosh.
You have Seattle 7-5, Arizona 6-6, the Rams 6-6, and 49ers 5-7. They're all right there together. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there. That's something you got to take into consideration. What Mario's talking about.
Say that one more time. Just say it one more time. The division.
So the 4 teams: Seattle, Arizona, Rams, and 49ers 49ers sitting in last at 5-7. Rams are at 6-6. Arizona 6-6. And Seattle is sitting at 7-5. So they're a game behind. The Rams and Arizona are tied, but they're only a game behind Seattle, and the 49ers are a game behind the Rams and Arizona. So there's almost a tie in a sense.
Oh.
If Seattle loses to Arizona and the Rams lose, there'll be a three-way tie. No. I'm sorry. If Arizona wins, and the Rams win, and Seattle loses to Arizona, there'd be a three-way tie for first place. And I mean, these games. I mean, you're right. There's huge implications. There's a lot of football left, but these games are critical. Every game's critical for NFC West right now.
For NFC West, yeah. This is, again, and I've said this before. I said it last week. The NFC West is the most competitive division in all of football right now. Is it the most highest scoring and the most difficult division to get through? No, that prestige will go to the NFC North. But the NFC West, the 4 teams in that division, it's anyone's division right now. Okay, so after what Kimbro said right there, a win for Seattle puts them on top of the NFC West, a 62% chance of making the playoffs. But if they lose this game, that would drop their chances to just 11%. And on the other side, if the Arizona Cardinals win, that would put them up to 71% chance of making the playoffs by winning this game. And if they lose this game, the Arizona Cardinals would drop to 17% chance of making the playoffs. So this game isn't necessarily win and get in, but if you lose, you're basically going home. This is not a win and get in because of how difficult this division is. Yeah. But it's a lose and you're going home. So I don't know, man. This is the toughest one here, and this is the closest split so far. 40% of our chat here says Cardinals, 60% says Seattle. Do you have a final pick, Adam?
All of my chat's saying Seattle.
What is Adam saying? What is your mind and your brain and those stats say to you?
I want to look up one other thing here because part of my brain is thinking Seattle.
Okay. Look, the last time these teams played, Seattle got the win. It wasn't like it was crazy, but listen, guys, James Conner, when they played the Seattle Seahawks, he was completely shut down. That will not happen again this week. I promise you that. It was literally the worst game of his career, dude. It was literally the worst game of his career. He had 8 rushing yards on 7 carries, and that was it. That will not happen again for James Conner. That being said, that lockdown defense that Seattle had in that game against the Cardinals also have lockdown defense as well. Guys, Arizona held Seattle to just 2.5 yards per carry and kept them under 50 total rushing yards. So this was a super defensive game. It was one of the best defensive performances for the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Arizona Cardinals at home I'm going to go against everyone in here. I'm taking Arizona. Taking the Cardinals. I could be wrong, and I'm going to fall flat on my face. Football Nation, I'm taking Arizona.
You're taking Arizona.
Change my mind. That goes for you too in the chat. Y'all try to change my mind.
Okay, so you're going with Arizona. Another stat I just pulled up. Penalties per game. Who leads the league in penalties per game? Arizona Cardinals. When you have that many penalties, that really affects your team, no matter how well you do. So they're leading the league in penalties per game. And when you come look at total defense, Arizona's sitting at 16 and Seattle's sitting at 22. And that's total plays, I clicked on the wrong button here. Hold on. Let me click on total defense points per game.
Ricky's mad at me.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
The Seahawks very well might, Ricky. They might steamroll the Arizona Cardinals. Mario, I feel bad for your pick. Look, man, it's
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with Arizona just because my gut feels like they do have the better team at the moment. Seattle, I feel like is more consistent than Arizona is to an extent. They were able to go in and beat their rival at home in San Francisco. So if they can beat the 49ers, which 49ers, for granted, they're still a solid team. They've had a lot of injuries. They got a lot of depth. So that's not a pushover team. They're not done yet. Buffalo, you get the West Coast guys going into East Coast and playing Buffalo and that Blizzard game, which I think there was, I read a stat that there was like, was it like 3 feet of snow at one point? Or no, it was 2 feet of snow. They had 2 feet of snow before the game. And then you could see during the game it was snowing pretty good. So
here's my thinking, guys. The Arizona Cardinals are at home, right? They average 141 rushing yards per game. Seattle Seahawks average 88 rushing yards per game. What does that mean to me? What does that sound like to me? It sounds like Arizona has been better at controlling the clock, at sustaining longer drives. They are also playing at home, guys, and I'm with you guys on this one. We could probably sit on this one for a while, but I think that the defense for Arizona is better than the Seattle Seahawks defense. I think the running game is better than the Seattle Seahawks running game right now. I used to think Kenneth Walker was the man and Zach Charbonnet was a great fill-in back. I don't feel that way anymore. Kenneth Walker has been a disappointment, and the Seahawks defense or the Seahawks running game got stuffed to just 50 yards the last time these two teams played. Now, they do have Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Geno Smith is third in the NFL in passing yards, over 3,000 passing yards right now. But the Arizona Cardinals, they're going to make it difficult, man. James Conner, Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., they do have a little bit of chalk on their side as well. It's going to be close. And Ricky, you can hate me. Ray Zilla saying, did you see Seattle last week? I'm just saying the Arizona Cardinals, they are desperate. The Seattle Seahawks also in desperate mode. This is going to be probably the best game of the week. And I think that's all I have to say about it.
So this is okay. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. I need to see more stats from what I'm looking at. Yeah, Geno Smith is a better quarterback. He has more yardage, but here's a stat to look at too. Geno Smith is sitting at 3,241 yards passing. He's averaging 270 yards a game, 13 TDs, but what's killing him is interceptions. He's 12.
Yep.
His QB rating's an 88. Kyler Murray has about 600 yards less than him, or 700, 2,600 yards passing, 216 yards a game, 13 TDs, 6 interceptions, but his QB rating is a 94. You know, the stat I don't have here pulled up currently is the attempts and receptions between the two. That's going to affect the points a little bit, but they are close.
Yeah.
So I would put them pretty even.
Yeah, I would too. Let's roll on to the next one. I think. What was your final? You're going with Seattle?
I'm going with Seattle. I got Seattle. We got a split decision, baby.
The first split decision. Okay, let's move on.
Rams take on the mighty. Oh, I was going to say something different.
Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills, man. That was an awesome game. Buffalo with the 49ers. Josh Allen, my favorite play of the season, was getting the little pitch back. You remind me of Little Giants, the movie. The little pitch back to the quarterback for the touchdown. Him diving in the snow. Yeah, that was an awesome, awesome touchdown. That's by far my favorite of the season. Buffalo.
Well, we're so used to seeing the Kansas City Chiefs do fun stuff like that. It's cool to see Buffalo do something like that.
Exactly. Detroit does stuff similar too, some wild stuff. First place versus a third place. 6-6 versus a first place team. We got East Coast versus West Coast again.
Look, another game where there's a team in desperation mode, knowing that if they drop this game, that could be their playoff chances out the window. Now, the Buffalo Bills have already clinched a playoff berth. They are one of the first teams outside of the Kansas City Chiefs to actually clinch a playoff berth. The LA Rams, they need this, guys. The LA Rams are going to be fighting tooth and nail, and as Dan Campbell would say, they're going to be biting kneecaps in this game. They're going to be going for it, man. I think the LA Rams are going to play with conviction. I think the LA Rams are going to show up and hit hard and hit fast offensively, but their defense is going to give up too many points. And the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game, and I think the Rams are going to fight like hell, and I think they're going to go for it, and I think they're going to try. But I don't know that Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams and Matthew Stafford are going to be enough to win this game. That's just, from my heart speaking. That's just my heart speaking right there.
Bills Mafia, I'm with you guys. I'm sold. I really like Josh Allen as a quarterback. I mean, losing Diggs, it was a blow to him, but Cook.
That's the best thing that happened to his career, man, is losing Stephon Diggs. That's the best. Yeah. That's the best thing that happened to Josh Allen was losing Stephon Diggs.
Look at Cook, Davis, Allen. I mean, all the guys are picking up.
Bob is saying that he thinks it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I think so too.
Yeah, I think it'd be high scoring. I feel like Buffalo has a better team. Their defense will be able to stifle Stafford enough to keep the scoring down. The odds currently, as of Yahoo, has 4.5 for Buffalo. So I agree with you, Mario. Buffalo is going to take this one. It's going to be a tough one for the Rams. They will fall, unfortunately.
I don't think it's going to be that easy. And if there's a game that has upset written on it right here, I think it's this game.
It could.
I think if there's a game that has upset written on it, it's got to be this game. And I say that because it's not that big of a difference between these two teams offensively. It's 30 yards of a difference between what the Rams are putting up and what the Bills are putting up. 331 total yards of offense for the LA Rams, 347 for the Buffalo Bills. And Matthew Stafford has higher passing yards than Josh Allen, almost 3,000 passing yards. So he's outgunning him there. Kyron Williams has more rushing yards than James Cook. He's out rushing him there. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua combined, they've got about 100 yards more than Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman. But the wide receivers are doing better there. So, I think it's the running by committee that's helping the Buffalo Bills get that extra yardage, and that's exactly where it comes in at. It's less than 15 yards of a difference here. They're just slightly better at rushing the football. This is going to be a really good game, guys. The difference here is just a 4-point spread. I would not be surprised to smell an upset. Maybe this should have been the upset that I predicted. Maybe I should have gone with the Seattle Seahawks and then picked the LA Rams. But those are the ones, man.
It's a tough one. It is a tough one.
I love me some Cooper Kupp, guys. Most passing yards in a single season in NFL history, Cooper Kupp.
So you go across the pond, look at the receivers for Buffalo. You got Shakir, Coleman, Kincaid, Knox, and Hollins. Those 5 receivers are averaging over 10. They're averaging over 10 yards a reception.
They're trash, bro.
They're trash, but they're averaging their stats, man. Their stats are up there.
They're only good because Josh Allen is good.
Josh Allen is good.
We saw when Mac Hollins was in Las Vegas.
At least it's not Trubisky.
I mean, Keon Coleman never interested me coming into this draft. Khalil Shakir, he was the 3rd string wide receiver, now stepping up for Buffalo.
And is phenomenal.
And Courtney is saying, Khalil Shakir, let's go Shakir. Well, I'm sorry, Buffalo Bills fans. Josh Allen is absolutely amazing, but the rest of the team is trash.
So look at Cook versus Williams. Who is the better running back in your opinion between those two?
Between Kyron Williams and James Cook,
Yeah.
I think they're the same running back. I think they're the same running back on different teams, East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams has had more opportunities, but when you look at them, like 10 touchdowns to 11 touchdowns rushing, but James Cook has broken off the bigger touchdown run at 65 yards on that run. He's also a better pass catcher out of the backfield, but Kyron Williams doesn't catch as many passes as many targets, I guess I could say. I think they're the same running back. If I had to pick, I'd give the slight edge to Cook. I'd give the slight edge to James Cook.
Gotcha. So, okay. I agree with you. And what I'm looking at here is Cook is averaging 4.7 yards to 4.2 to Williams. So he's a half a yard per average.
And that's more than 10%.
Yeah. So 11 touchdowns. But what hurts Williams is 3 lost fumbles. Cook's is 0.
Right.
To me, that one thing, 222 rushes to 151. So Williams has a lot more touches. That's 71 more touches.
Bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why he has more fantasy points.
Yeah.
But I think Buffalo has the better offensive line. And if you were to take James Cook and drop him in LA and take Kyron Williams, and I think we would have a similar situation here. I think they would open up bigger holes there. I think they would have
rock on.
So, anyways, I'm taking Buffalo. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills in this one. Let's move on.
Man, let's get it. Bears versus the 49ers.
Ooh. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. I actually wanted to come in here and just drop the bomb on everyone and say Chicago, bro, all the way.
Two 4-place teams. They're both 4 in their division.
They're playing for last place in their divisions, but the Chicago Bears have dropped more games than the 49ers.
Only one more game. That's crazy. Only one game.
Do you have a take? Do you have a hot take on this one?
It's 49. They're playing at home. You know, this is going to be a Caleb Williams. You know, he played for USC in California, so it's almost going to be like.
He was so good in college, bro, but he's
not the same
offensive line. It is not even
true.
And I keep saying this. Rome Odunze should not have been drafted by the Chicago Bears. They should have picked an offensive lineman. It is doing them no good to have all of these weapons around him, and it's just like he has no time. He's scrambling for his life. He's been sacked over 40 times already this season. Like, he's been getting crushed. Caleb Williams can't stay upright. And then when he can stay upright, he's been terrible at throwing the football. That being said, I said that a couple weeks ago when we started these pickups. He was like dead last in the NFL or like the most uncatchable passes or whatever. And he's dialed it back in. He has brought it back in the past couple of weeks. 7 total touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. He's had some improvement there as a passer. But the Bears, the only bright spot that I think the Bears have is that defense. And with Christian McCaffrey being out and Jordan Mason being out, I don't know if I like Isaac Guerrero as the starting running back. Deebo Samuel, he might be featured in that spot. As we know, Brandon Ayuk is out. We've got Ricky Pearsall and just a ton of different players getting passes from Brock Purdy. And is Brock Purdy even fully healthy? I mean, that's the other question. Is Brock Purdy even fully healthy?
He didn't look good. He was limited in practice last week, and I don't think he looked as good. So did he get healthy this week? That's going to be key. I think if he was healthy, I'd say my gut reaction is 49ers. As long as he's healthy, 49ers will take him. But Chicago, I don't know. I'm not sold on Caleb.
But here's the other thing too, man. It's not just the offense, and everybody always spends so much time talking about the offense. So the offense is busted up for the 49ers right now without those big chalky name players like Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey in there. They've also got chalk missing on the defensive side of the football too. Nick Bosa, he's towards the bottom of the league, guys, right now.
Is he going to be able to play?
Nick Bosa is amazing, and without him, the 49ers will fall to the bottom of the league. I don't think that he's going to be able to play. He's questionable coming into this game, and I think Nick Bosa might be out. Bears might get them, says Joseph Connor, because of the injuries. He's checking in. Bears lost their best offensive coach and friend of the family, Luck. Uh-oh. Well, the 49ers are 5.5 point favorites. Actually, I'm looking at it now, and it looks like they're just 4-point favorites. So even that is going down. They are favorites to win this game, but even that little bit is going down. Apparently a 68% chance of winning, but this looks like every day is starting to get closer and closer and closer as this game gets closer and closer, man.
Hey, what about the stats between Purdy and Williams right now?
Go for it. If you got them up, pull them up.
Yeah, I've got them up. So Caleb Williams is 2,600 yards, 217 yards a game, 14 TDs, 5 interceptions, and 86 passer rating.
Yep.
Purdy, 2,700 yards passing,
Yep.
246 yards per game.
They're like the same.
13 TDs.
They're like the same.
8 interceptions.
So, wow. And
yeah.
He's had more interceptions than Caleb Williams this season, huh?
Yeah.
By the way, fantasy points wise, Caleb Williams has one more fantasy point than Brock Purdy. And I know fantasy points aren't what gets you wins, but guys, again, how similar those numbers are, it is crazy. It is crazy. Total yardage, again, Caleb Williams 2,612, Brock Purdy 2,707. Total touchdowns, passing touchdowns, Caleb Williams 14, Brock Purdy 13. Again, total interceptions, Caleb Williams 5, Brock Purdy 8. So, oh man. And now they don't have Jordan Mason or Christian McCaffrey. It's Isaac Guerrero, and they just picked up like some third-string running back from the New York Jets to help fill in because they've got nobody to run the football. They do still have George Kittle. They do still have Jawan Jennings. They will still have Deebo Samuel, I'm pretty sure. Dude, this is going to be close. I'm still
89% chance says he will play.
Who will play?
I'm sorry, Brock Purdy. There's an 89% chance they're saying Brock Purdy will play against the Bears.
I mean, and he should play if he's available to play. This shouldn't be one that they want to drop because the 49ers are also in desperation mode. So all things aside, right, the reason that I wanted to go with the Bears is because of all those injuries and all those things that I mentioned. But the 49ers will win this game because there is still hope for them. There's still a chance that they can actually get into the playoffs. It is a slim hope and a slim possibility, but this division is anybody's game right now. This division is anybody's game. Could you imagine, bro? Could you imagine
I can't.
If the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals finish that game in a tie?
That's going to be insane.
Oh, my gosh. That would be stupid. I'm with you. Seal saying that Guerrero ain't no slouch. I'm going to go with the 49ers, guys. That's my final pick on this
49ers for me.
We got 2 games left to go.
49ers for me as well. So, damn.
All right, guys. If y'all are watching, be sure to hit that like button. If you're watching with me or if you're watching with Adam Kimbrough, help us out. Hit that thumbs up, guys. Let's move on. Okay. Chargers, Chiefs. Chargers, Chiefs. This is the Sunday night slate. Prime time
baby.
Sunday night football. Adam, why don't you go first? Give me some
Chiefs. So I'm not gonna do it that way. So okay, so the Chiefs last year, or not the Chiefs, the Chargers last year, I would have said without a doubt, Chiefs got it. Boom, easy, said and done. Harbaugh has rejuvenated this team this season with his whatever you call it, magic or whatever he does for his teams. Everywhere he goes, he seems to be fairly successful, college and pro. So that being said, he's going up against another magician on the other side with Andy Reid. Andy Reid was a longtime coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I felt like the last few years he was with the Eagles, you could see his win-loss record was dropping. He was doing worse as a coach. I felt like he got complacent, stagnant with that franchise. And when he left there and came to Kansas City, he got that spark again. He's got a quarterback, Mahomes, probably by far one of the better quarterbacks in the league right now. Hands down, I think I've said it on here before. Looking at Patrick Mahomes, he does not look like an NFL quarterback at all. I look more like a quarterback than he does. Just, I'm not bragging, but he just doesn't look like a quarterback. So that being said, the guy can play football. And you've got that with the team just finds ways to win. But then also you look across the side and you see Harbaugh. He's got a great defensive scheme going. You've got I just went blank.
You might have a great defensive scheme, but my gosh, you got Patrick Mahomes on the other side and one of the best offensive schemes in Andy Reid's.
And who's struggled this year? They have struggled offensively this year. They really have.
But as a team as a whole,
they've won the games they needed to win.
You can win a game by putting up 3 points. We have seen it happen before. You don't have to put up a lot of points. You just got to score more than the other guys. That's it. And that's all it's about, man. And the Chargers offensively, I don't know that the Chargers offensively are up to the challenge of these big teams. Now, defensively, yes, the Chargers are stout. Dude, Joey Bosa is something else. The Chargers are amazing, but offensively, they're barely putting up 300 yards of offense, 311 yards of offense. At least they've done over 100 rushing yards per game. That's what they're averaging, is about 112, and passing yards per game about 214 per game. So I'm not impressed by the offensive side of the football here. Now, on top of that, the Chargers this week are playing without J.K. Dobbins, and that is their main workhorse right now. It's now going to be the Gus Bus, and Gus Edwards will be running the football this week. I don't know that Gus Edwards is going to be able to get around Chris Jones and get around that Chiefs defense on the ground. I don't have those numbers up in front of me right now at this moment. I will by the end of this week, but we've yet to see. I mean, Ladd McConkey will likely go over 1,000 passing or 1,000 receiving yards. Justin Herbert doing okay, but quarterback-wise, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes over that. Running backs-wise, I would take both Kareem Hunt or Isaiah Pacheco over Gus Edwards. So I like both the quarterback better. I like the running back better. Top pass catcher, of course. I mean, I don't know, man. Travis Kelce, you can't. There's no question there. He hasn't had a great season. No, that's fair to say. But he's also got help now with DeAndre Hopkins. Like, guys, the Kansas City Chiefs should win this game.
By far.
This shouldn't be as close as it's going to be. I'll put it that way. This shouldn't be as close as it's going to be. The Kansas City Chiefs should be able to put on their big boy pants and run away with this one. My chat room is 50-50 split right now. Literally 50-50 straight down the middle between Chargers and Chiefs.
Everybody's saying in my chat is Chiefs. Well, Chiefs, but Chargers defense is going to keep it close. I agree. I think it'd be a close game. I got to stick with the Chiefs too. I really like Mahomes. Mahomes grew up less than an hour where I live. So he's just right down the road from where I live at. So, yeah. I'd say Mahomes and my auto is what I want to say. It's a State Farm commercial for those of you guys that got that reference. So, my auto all the way. Chiefs, baby.
I've never heard that one before, but all right. All right, I'm going to go with Kansas City. It looks like the poll has shifted, and we've got 52% saying Kansas City Chiefs. One person jumped in to be the tiebreaker. I love it. 21 votes. Thanks for breaking that tie. Okay.
There you go.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. I'm with you guys. Final one for the week, guys, and then we'll wrap this up here for y'all. But the final game, Cincinnati Bengals, Dallas Cowboys. Who will win that one? Who will win that game? Let me type this up in the chat.
Who will win? So,
Bengals, Cowboys. Guys, gals, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, my chat, who do you think's going to win?
I've never seen anything like this. How is it possible that the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow are the number one team in passing yards in the NFL right now?
Burrow, baby.
And not
30 TDs.
Not because of necessity, right? Not because they're always trailing or always from behind. He is straight out playing the best football of his career right now. JT saying, I just hope both teams have fun. Look, man, this is going to be fun to watch. It'll be fun to call. Because even if the Bengals put up 40-yard or four passing touchdowns and Joe Burrow throws for 400 passing yards, for whatever reason, the Bengals defense just loves giving up points to other teams. And the Dallas Cowboys might legitimately have a chance if Joe Burrow. I'm gonna pass this off to you. Go ahead, Adam. Take it away. Take it away, because I'm gonna get worked up over here.
No, I'm okay. Okay. The odds on Vegas: Cincinnati 5.5-point favorites coming into AT&T Stadium. This is hard because Mario's a Cowboys fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. And you'll hear it here. It's hard, man. This is a really hard year to be a Cowboys fan. They're sitting at 5-7, third in NFC East. You're placing the third place. Cincinnati is 4-8. You know, there's only a game difference between the two teams. You don't have Dak Prescott. You got Cooper Rush.
Their run game is as bad as ours. Their run game is terrible.
But then the passing makes up for it because Burrow's sitting at 30 TDs, 107 rating with 3,300 yards passing. It's just like he is on pace to be a freaking MVP this season off of his stats alone.
Bro. Yeah, that's true.
The stats alone. I feel bad for Burrow. I wish we had Burrow in Dallas. Could you imagine having Burrow in Dallas?
Don't even play, bro.
Seriously.
Don't even play like that, dude. No way.
I mean, come on.
So sick.
Come on.
That's too much, man.
I know. It makes me...
Cowboys wouldn't lose a game.
All right. Here we go. Okay. Cincinnati. Why I say that? I feel like offensively, they're going to be able to eat our defense alive. I don't know why. I just had that feeling. Maybe our defense can come alive. I just feel like Cincinnati defensively can't stop a decent team. We'll score on them. I don't feel like our offense is solid at all. I feel like the Cowboys' offense stinks. And that's some of the problem. We got a lot of talent, but just can't manage to. And I think some of the problem with the Cowboys is play call. I really do. In a lot of the games I've seen, it's like the play call is terrible.
It's not that bad, man. The Dallas Cowboys pass defense isn't that bad. The Dallas Cowboys pass defense actually ranks 13th in the NFL. They give up 212 passing yards per game to opponents, but the Cincinnati Bengals pass defense is actually 27th in the NFL. The Cincinnati Bengals pass defense, they give up 241 receiving yards and passing yards to opposing teams so far this season.
Wow.
So the Cincinnati Bengals are a bottom 5 team in the NFL at stopping the pass. Can Cooper Rush overcome this? I think so. By the way, I think this will be the game that we get Trayvon Diggs back. So we will finally, guys, get both Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs on the field together with Micah Parsons and DeMarvion Overshown has been stepping up, and the Dallas Cowboys defense is looking better. And yes, I know the last 2 wins that we had were against the Commanders and against the New York Giants. And so it's not anything to brag about, but it is a bit of confidence. It is a bit of momentum. And I am going to regret saying this because I'm an effing Cowboys fan. I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys.
You're picking
Let's
them?
go. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go, Dallas Cowboys. I'm going with Dallas on this one. Let's go.
You know, I gotta go back. I'm switching back too. Because it makes me sick to say that. But Cowboys, baby. I've picked them a lot this year. I gotta stick with it again.
Man, let's effing go, says Courtney. Let's go.
There we go. I changed it back, guys. I had the psyche there for a minute. So
all right. Now, that is what I'm saying here. Live to you guys. I'm going to stand by. You want to run through these picks one more time before we jump off of this one here?
Absolutely. So
final picks one more time. Go ahead.
Lions over the Packers.
I'm taking Lions. Oh, that hurts to say. I'm taking the Lions to win. I will be rooting for the Packers.
There you go. All right. Vikings over Falcons.
I'll take the Vikings over the Falcons.
Saints over the Giants.
I will take the Saints over the Giants.
Titans over the Jaguars.
I will take the Titans over the Jaguars.
Buccaneers over the Raiders.
I like that one too.
Steelers over the Browns.
I like the Steelers in that one too.
Eagles over the Panthers.
Eagles over the Panthers.
Dolphins over the Jets.
Yeah, Dolphins over the Jets.
Cardinals over Seahawks.
Oh man, you want to split this one?
I'm thinking Seahawks, and I think were you the Seahawks or Cardinals earlier? I can't remember how.
I'm going Cardinals.
Yeah, you're going Cardinals. I'm gonna go Seahawks.
Okay.
Rams versus Bills.
I really like the underdogs in this one, but
I'm going Buffalo.
To take Buffalo.
Bills Mafia. I got you. Bears
but for the record, I'm gonna regret that. My mind says Buffalo. My heart says LA.
Bears over 49ers.
I'm taking the 49ers.
49ers. All right, I got you there. Chargers over Chiefs or Chiefs over Chargers?
We're going Chiefs.
Chiefs, you got it. And Cowboys over the Bengals.
Let's go, Dallas. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Let's effing go.
Rockstar.
All right, guys. That's it. That's all we got. Those are our picks for this week. If you guys want to make your picks for this week and make it official, all you got to do, ladies and gentlemen, is click on this link that I'm popping into the chat right now. It is pinned at the top. Of course, you can wait until after Thursday's stream or maybe sometime during Thursday's stream to do it as well. Just so y'all know, it's nothing crazy, but love you guys. Thank y'all for watching. Until next time, let's effing go. Any final words, Adam, on your side?
Thank you again, Mario. I appreciate the time and being on your stream. It's an honor, man. So thank you, Football Nation chat. Thank you to my fans in chat. I'm sorry I haven't been able to do as many live streams lately with a lot going on, but I'm working through it. We're going to get you some more streams coming up. I promise you guys here. So thank you guys so much. We'll see y'all.